Hello everyone, welcome back to Exeltech space program stuff. So, we have new contract today. In fact, I'm going to go into the VAB because I don't want time to be passing right now. It's important that we keep the time where it is. That's because the space station is going to be overhead fairly soon, and what we are going to be attempting to accomplish is rendezvousing with it pretty much as soon as it's up above. It's going to be a challenge, and what we're going to actually be rendezvousing with is a new expansion to the space station to fulfill this contract. We need to launch the Kerbin space station. That's what the contract says. We already have a space station, but it doesn't meet the requirements. It has to be in orbit with a docking node, supports 5 Kerbals, have one of the following power generators. Just something to generate power. That's basically what it needs. Science lab on board, and optional a cupola module. I don't have the cupola, so we're not going to be able to get that one. But we do have a new module to add on to the space station. The station Habitation Hub. Now the Habitation Hub has this little inflatable habitation ring right here, which you can deploy and ends up looking pretty cool. It's got enough space for 10 more Kerbals, which will get us to meet this thing, and everything else will also be met as well. So it'll all be good. We'll get the contract done, no problem. This should make it into orbit just fine. It's got plenty of fuel, it's got lots of thrust, and it's very lightweight, actually. I mean, yeah, it's 141.3 tons, but this part up here is very light. The hub itself. That's what all this is for. And yeah, there's a couple issues with it, but those issues will be taken care of when we're actually rendezvoused. Let's see now. I think there was something else I was thinking of doing, but I don't believe it's anything important. Okay, I want to show you the tricky stuff I did with the Rockamax adapter skeletal one. I decided that since it's a skeletal adaptation thing, I could just go ahead and put parts inside of the actual part, because it kind of makes sense to me. You know, this is just a wire frame of metal. Why not throw things into that wire frame of metal, right? It all makes sense, trust me. Then there's some RCS fuel up here. Alright, let's go ahead and launch. Now this is completely unmanned. It's got no one in it because it doesn't really matter. There's not really a pilot seat per se. I don't even know if you can have an IVA view inside of this thing. In fact, I'm not even sure how you would get people in here when it's folded up. Alright, make sure everything is set up. Set as target, and we are ready to launch. And away we go. And I will rejoin you, assuming nothing goes wrong, once we get to space. You know, I just realized that I might have forgotten to do something. And that something would be put parachutes on my solid rocket boosters. Oh well. It happens. Alright, so now we just need to thrust sideways for a bit, and we're going to close this gap here. I need to bring this up a little bit further. A little bit higher. Alright, so we have a 6-kilometer intersection. That's going to work out for us. We can use that to our advantage. It's a little bit high up, but I know this is going to turn out alright. Trust me. I've done docking stuff plenty of times. I'm fairly good at it. All I have to do is line up here, and once we're at our intersect, just go full throttle. In about 34 seconds-ish. Trust me, it's going to work out. So aside from putting parachutes on the rocket boosters, I also forgot to put a parachute on my main thing. You know, my main thrusting stage. Alright, close enough. And it's going to slip past us. That's a guarantee. But it's okay, because we're now in our lighter stage. That part's going to reorbit, or re-enter, not reorbit. Reorbiting would be bad. Alright, we are now going the same speed as the target, and our separation is... How bad is it? Should be somewhere... it's actually not that bad. I aim down a bit and just start thrusting us in this direction. It won't be long until we meet up with our station and are ready to dock. I don't think I'm going to go faster than this, though, because I want to make sure we're not going to careen into it and explode everything. In fact, let's do a quick save. And in a blink of an eye, we are there. See? Blink of an eye. Really, we're a kilometer away, but it's kind of important that we don't be going too quickly, right? General rule of thumb is to be going about a speed that will be similar to going... Let me rewind that explanation. A good rule of thumb is generally to be going at a speed that will always make it so it takes about 100 seconds to get to your rendezvous target. That typically is for when you're more than a couple hundred meters away. When you're much closer, making it take so it going at a speed so it takes around 10 seconds wouldn't be that bad an idea, because at that speed you'd be going slow enough that you can make adjustments with just your RCS alone. Right now we look like we're going to be sliding past the Science Hub, which wouldn't really be a bad thing, because I do want to have the Habitation Hub on the opposite side of the hub, the Science Hub. But at the same time, I don't want to be wasting too much of my energy getting here. And I do have plenty of fuel, and I haven't even touched my RCS yet, so rendezvousing is definitely not going to be an issue. Alright, time to point us towards the target. And assume a slightly forward thrust. There we go. Now, when we're close enough, I'm going to switch over to the Science Hub and rotate it a bit so we can dock far more easily. Don't have to worry about trying to maneuver around, because this thing, I forgot the small minor detail that I don't think I'm going to have control of this thing when I unattach. And I don't have RCS ports over here, meaning it's a little bit awkward to control. You kind of saw that when I was maneuvering around a little bit with the RCS to get the green and the pink lined up. Let's see, let's stop when we're about 30 meters away. That'll give us plenty of room to maneuver the Science Hub around. There we go. Alright, switch over to you. Set that as the target. There. It's all lined up. Set the Clampatron as our target. And more or less, it should just be a simple matter of sliding forward and connecting. You know, I should have designed this thing upside down. Put the SAS meter over on this side instead of over here. Oh well, it should all still work out fine. Looks like we're almost perfectly lined up, doesn't it? Awesome. That was so perfect. I didn't even really have to make any adjustments. That's freaking cool. And with that, my space station is now a little bit better. It's got more room, got more habitation purposes. These guys now have a place to go and take a nap. I really should get a replacement crew up here. It's been a while since they've seen the ground. Perhaps I'll do that in next episode. This episode I think is going to be a little bit short, unless I do one more contract. I do need to get a science thing up here, the plant growth experiment. Perhaps I could do that to finish this episode out. Yeah, I think I will do that. Let's see, I need you to decouple. You can rotate back to this position. And we can deploy that now. Awesome, my space station. Oh, this thing actually turns! Ah, that's cool! Artificial gravity. Hooray! As for you, let's get you pointing retrograde. Doesn't have very good control now. But that's okay. It's just gonna head straight back down anyway. There we go. Look at that. I love this thing. I love my station. And it's only going to expand from here on out. I might even try shoving it into a slightly higher orbit later on. You know, get it further away from the 100,000 meter mark. think that'd probably be good for business. Alright, enough fooling around up here. Let's get this thing going. Actually, we're going to finish this episode off with me making an adjustment to the satellite I have here. It's supposed to be surveying the biome of the moon. We're only at 88%. And if we look at our map, let's see. Don't know if I can change the map in here, but if we open up the big map, I pretty much got everything except for the poles, meaning I need to make a slight adjustment in order to make it so we can actually get the poles surveyed. Yeah, that was my mistake. I should have put it on a much more eccentric path. So let's just skip ahead a bit. Why am I slowing down? Oh, I have a maneuver to do. I completely forgot that I had that going on. That's right, this thing. My other satellite I had trying to get into position. What was my burn time? Couldn't have been more than 30 seconds, so we'll wait until the 15-second mark and then burn. Actually, what science do I have that I can do with this thing? Solar particle analysis. I'm not gonna do it. I wasn't too far off. It's more like 20 seconds than 15, but hey. Works for me. We're getting this done anyway. There we go. Close enough. Now what the heck is that maneuver? I think I just completed a contract. Hey, I just completed the contract with this satellite. I figured I was going to have to make a couple more adjustments, but no. We're good. Awesome. With a little bit of fuel left to spare. I don't think I'm going to be able to deorbit this, though. I don't have any control over this end, and... Alright, let's adjust this thing. And nope. Spiral out of control. Let's not let that happen. Silly me. Anyway, now that that's taken care of, let's go back to that satellite I was about to adjust. Let's see, I believe I need to make the adjustment this way. That should do it. Right? There we go. That's got us going over the poles, so we should get the entire thing covered now. Alright, that's gonna do it then. It was not what I was really planning, but hey, we're set for more missions, and we'll have the moon completely scanned soon enough. Oh, that reminds me, I was gonna go ahead because there's a bit of science I forgot to do. And I believe it was with this guy. Because we have the land surveyed. Aha, 30 science. By the way, I have to say I love that I have both the radars and the communication dishes pointed directly at Kerbin. It just makes that look all the more cool, doesn't it? Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and fave if you did. And I will see you next time when we send up some science and a replacement crew, perhaps. See you next time. Take care and goodbye.